Since Roe was overturned, states across the country have been scrambling to navigate abortion access. The Detroit Free Press reports that today in Michigan, a judge temporarily extended an order that blocks prosecutions of abortion providers in the state's biggest counties. That hearing will reconvene tomorrow. For more, we are very happy to welcome Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow. Mallory, how critical is this case? What I'm trying to understand is, what do Michiganders really want when it comes to abortion rights? It's a big state. You got a lot of views.
It is a big state. We are a state of 10 million people, but overwhelmingly, people do not want us to go back to our 1931 law, which makes abortion a felony with no exceptions for age, rape, or incest. And right now, our Republican legislators want to extend that felony to a 10-year prison sentence. Nobody wants to go there. And right now, there is one judge standing in the way of that. Our rights are just hanging by a thread. It's devastating.
I want to talk about something else in your state. You tweeted about a situation with a Michigan library saying, quote, "This is cancel culture." The library got stripped of the town got stripped of its library because it contained books that just had LGBTQ people in it. Just for having those books, they defunded the library. How do you fight that?
It is such a scary time that we're living in. And it's a few books that often aren't even checked out that feature characters who are LGBTQ. And there was an organization in this town that coordinated an effort to defund the library. So they're going to put another effort on the ballot, and this library may disappear in 2023, depriving an entire town of every single book in it. And my husband also pointed it out. This same library has something like 13 copies of 50 Shades of Grey, and nobody had any issues with that. So it is just, it's terrifying right now, the idea that you can eliminate all of the books because there are a handful of books that just acknowledge that gay people exist.
I can't even handle that you just said that. Like, do me a favor. If you want to read that book, just buy it. Please don't check it out and then return it to any of those 13 copies. But then here's what I don't understand. Okay? If the majority of people in Michigan do not want to go backwards in terms of abortion, if the majority of people in Michigan think it's crazy to deprive a town, a county of its library, how come these things might happen?
But right now, this version of the Republican Party is being taken over by far-right, Trump-backed conspiracy theorists, and they're winning. It is the loudest voices in the room who are organizing, and it's a concerted effort to get the rest of us so worn out and exhausted that we just quit. That is what's happening right now. We know that an overwhelming majority of us don't want these things. We want our kids to have access to books. We want the rights to make our own decisions to our bodies. And part of the reason that I'm staying in this, and so is the governor and our attorney general in a state like Michigan, where there are consistently death threats against women legislators, is because we can't let this version win. We have to send a loud message from Michigan by defeating them this November that this version of the Republican Party will not win. And hopefully we kick it back to normal and we can get back to debating tax policy instead of whether or not people have the right to exist and women are full citizens.
Then what's your playbook for Democrats? Because people often say that Democrats have facts, but Republicans, they know how to win fights. You earlier this year had Republican colleagues making awful false allegations about you. You fought back hard and you won. Right now, Democrats have a lot of wins under their belt. How do they fight to win on messaging? Midterms are around the corner.
I mean, the attitude is we have to fight. We have to get in our minds, this is not a normal time. It is not a time where we can just talk about policy and win, because right now there is a culture war, but it is manufactured. It is the Republican Party manufacturing issues to get you so angry and hateful and fearful towards somebody else, to deflect from the fact that they're not doing anything to bring down inflation, that they're not doing anything to bring down healthcare costs, but Democrats are. So step one is we have to fight the culture wars and win by showing how ridiculous they are, that it is just scapegoating and it's a distraction. And then that opens the door for us to celebrate. Democrats, we're not really that good at celebrating. We love to nitpick each other. We have a lot to celebrate right now. So we've got to show people what they're doing on the other side is absolute garbage. Here's a lot of what we are doing and what we can do more of in a state like Michigan, where the Michigan Senate has been GOP controlled since 1984. If you give us a chance to lead, and we will not let you down.
The woke war is made up. You heard it here. Mallory McMorrow, thank you for joining us.